guarding man-to-man, but there were times I had to get him man-to-man. And your
favorite team that you guys love to face in your division?
Yours.
Yes, sir.
It's like the games like we play against the Raiders, you might get 3 sacks when they had Jamarcus Russell, which I did. So I got 3 sacks on them in the first half, right?
Yeah.
And I'm ready, and they take Tommy Maddox.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to West War Room Rivals. I am your host, Cody. I'm with my comrades here in the War Room. I've got Matt and Corey representing Broncos country, and I've got Caleb down below representing Bolt fam. What up, everybody? How's everyone's week? How are we feeling with no football for six months now?
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just weird to me when this weird time of the season, right? Like kind of I don't know.
It's the dark days in sports moments where there's like nothing on but NASCAR. So
I know. I think I texted everybody when's baseball season started. Honestly, like I usually would watch the NBA like regular season and the NFL simultaneously, but I haven't really paid attention to the NBA all year, and I'll see clips online, and I still don't have any desire to sit down and watch a full NBA game. I'm like, now when is baseball season going to start? That sounds more interesting than the NBA, but. Man, that meme where that guy's sitting on the swing, or he's just standing like staring off to nothing. That's how I feel like right now with no football.
Yeah, no, it's accurate.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Which is why we're here.
That's right. So before we get started, though, quick shout out to our sponsors, JBW Solutions. We're recording out of the JBW Solutions studio. Emporia State Federal Credit Union, Field Ops, Rival Codes. Use Rivals 10 to get 10% off your merch today, and also Vidite Coffee. Go to viditecoffee.com today to get your coffee supply, the official coffee sponsor of the War Room. We are now in season 2, you guys. We've talked about all the way up to season 1, ended on Super Bowl Sunday night, which we will recap on this episode. And now we're in season 2. As you can see right here, we've got the Be a Fan hashtag right here. So while we were posting stuff and interacting with you guys, we want you guys to be a fan. As Corey summed it up, if you're going to say something, stand on it, be a part of it, and, talk your shit. So we want you guys to be able to brag about your team and be a fan with some respect too. We don't want to get it out of left field or anything like that, but be a fan nonetheless. So are we ready to get started in today's agenda, you guys?
Let's
do it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So there was a pretty big game that happened on Sunday. I don't know if you guys saw or not, but there was a Bad Bunny concert. And then I guess there was a Little League football game that happened because there was a team that was absolutely spanking another team majority of the game. You want to talk about belt to ass majority of the game. The Seattle Seahawks put on a 29-13 shellacking on the Patriots. Unfortunately, Drake May's offensive line let him down. So I want to get some initial reactions before we kind of dive into more deeper questions. So Caleb, what were your reactions of Super Bowl 60?
I was a little disappointed personally. I at least wanted like a little. I know the Patriots kind of fought back there at the end, but overall, I wasn't impressed with the fight most of the game from them. That O-line, like you were saying, they kind of got manhandled a little bit, which they do have some young guys, young pieces that need to kind of get in the groove of things, I guess. But dude, you're in the Super Bowl. You gotta play your best game. So
yeah.
Overall, I was really impressed with the Seahawks, though. I mean, in all the entire playoffs, they trailed for only 1 minute and 35 seconds, and that was against the Rams. Like that's impressive. So overall, the whole playoffs, I was really impressed with the Seahawks and just how they executed, and how they just attacked full speed. But
yeah. Matt, what were your thoughts of Super Bowl 60? I know we kind of talked about this on the TikTok live, but what was your unfiltered reaction to that game?
I mean, again, this was all defense. If you think about it, the first touchdown of the game wasn't scored until the fourth quarter. We went to halftime, it was 9-0. We go into the fourth quarter, it was 12-0. Like when you have a field goal kicker that's setting a record, like that's speaking volumes. So that, I mean, again, just goes to show you how good this Patriots defense was. Yeah. But like you said, we talked about on TikTok live a little bit. Seattle made the adjustments. New England didn't. They just said, you know what, we're so close. We're just going to keep going. Eventually, we're going to break through. Well, while they were struggling to break through, Seattle had already made their adjustments, and it showed, and it worked well. And yeah, like it was, that fourth quarter was what a lot of people expected this game to go from start to finish. And unfortunately, that's just how it finished. Mm-hmm. So it was a very defensive game. Both defenses balled out, but yeah, the fact that Will Campbell still has a job right now is blowing my mind.
Yeah, go ahead, Corey.
He's a rookie, guys. Come on.
He's know, but still.
So he's a rookie. The two rookies on the left side. He's going to be fine.
Well, and then reportedly he had, I guess, some torn ligaments either in his leg or his foot.
Okay.
So he was playing with injury. I think what I'll point out too, and Corey, if you have anything additional to add on your reaction to the Super Bowl, but I think it's not that he was injured. I just think all playoffs, that left side of that offensive line was bum rush. And really there wasn't any crazy skill that I saw a defender make. It wasn't like some elite spin move we used to see like Dwight Freeney used to do. We just saw absolute bull rush just overpowering that left side, and it collapsed tremendously. And in the Super Bowl, when you're seeing Drake May, not able to give himself time to get to the open guy, and for some reason Josh McDaniels calling long developing routes so that way that left side would collapse, so it doesn't help his young quarterback. I think that's what I'm seeing where, to Matt's credit, there wasn't a lot of adjustments to that handicap. They just almost felt like, we can survive without it. And Seattle made them pay for it. Like, that's just exactly what that game turned out to be.
And that's what I was saying. Like, I get Will Campbell is a rookie, and yeah, he's going to be fine going forward and whatnot. However, when that pass rush there was no special technique, there was no spin moves, there was no swim move, nothing. They were just straight up bull rushing him. So one, what does that tell me about the line? Well, is there anyone that like Will Campbell's backup? Is he that much worse than Will Campbell that you said, hey, you're going to get on the bench because you're going to get demolished like this guy? Or like, again, adjustments. Like Will Campbell's obviously getting his shit rocked right now. Let me give us some help on there. Let me line up a tight end or something on his side to help him out. And they didn't do any of that. So,
yeah.
Yeah. And it comes down, it's on their dumbass offensive coordinator. Like, this is strictly on Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel. I saw a couple of times they had tight ends lined up over there, but they half-assed tried to chip. It didn't work. Then there was a couple times where the guard, they tried to double up the guard and the tackle, Will Campbell. They tried to double up, and the guard actually pushed the guy away from Will Campbell and actually got him a better chance to get the quarterback. So
yeah,
that's on the coaching staff for not making the adjustments. And again, if you're going to put someone over there to chip them, like actually chip them, like my goodness. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I would say if we have another season of this from Will Campbell, or he starts his next season off like that, then maybe we need to start worrying. I think my favorite thing was seeing someone on X, one of the former offensive linemen, kept saying Will Campbell and his little ass arms. And I was like, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, dude, he has like 33-inch arms or something like that. Dude, my arms are way longer than that. Like, that's crazy. So like having him at tackle, left tackle especially, I think that's probably doing him a disservice. I think he's a great lineman. Don't get me wrong. I think they have him in the wrong spot right now, in my opinion. I think they need to look at like maybe putting some more weight on him, put him at guard or even right tackle. But I don't know. Just my thoughts.
Well, and also, yeah, I mean, also the modern NFL, I mean, the offensive linemen aren't nearly as big as they once were. I would say like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, there's a lot of 380s, 375s. And now, like, if you're a sub 300 kind of weight class, but yet you're able to just hold firm, like you're an elite, offensive lineman. I think Jason Kelce, the heaviest he ever was I think like 285, I think, and even in his Pro Bowl playing weight, I think he was like 275 or something like that. And he was better at that weight than he was at a heavier weight, just because he was more nimble and he was, getting injured less. So maybe Will Campbell just has to, I mean, again, with an offseason of him getting healthy and whatever ligament that he has injured or torn and getting it repaired, that's going to do a lot this offseason with Mike Vrabel and his coaching staff. I just think, again, to close the chapter on this Super Bowl reactions, I think what we're all saying is just absolutely no adjustment for that handicap that they clearly had going into the Super Bowl. It's not like Will Campbell forgot how to play offensive linemen in this one particular game. He had been getting beat on just straight rushes all the way up until the Super Bowl. Just this Seattle defense actually had an offense that'll make you pay for it, where not saying that Denver, again, Denver's a weak offense. I think the snow played a big part in that. The Texans having CJ Stroud just turning the ball over doesn't help. And I'm forgetting the Chargers. I don't want to hurt your feelings right now, Caleb, but the Chargers, of course, how they played, it kind of was an easy game for the Patriots, more or less. But each game that Drake May played, he had less and less offensive yards. Ironically, he had the most passing yards this playoffs, but I think majority of his yards came in the fourth quarter in garbage time. So it was really kind of like last year's Super Bowl with the Chiefs, where Patrick Mahomes had this great stat, but it was because they were getting blown out by 25 in the fourth quarter, and they were playing a softer defense. So,
got it. Now, someone did ask me the other day after. Yes, I do think Bo Nix plays Denver's in the Super Bowl, and I think, and maybe I'm biased, but I think Denver plays the Seahawks 10 times better than what the Patriots showed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because if you think about it too, Sam Darnold really didn't have the best performance. Not that he did horrible, but like he did a good job protecting the ball, no turn. And that's another thing too. The Seahawks didn't turn the ball over once in the entire playoffs, and they were ranked, near the. Yeah, I was saying they were ranked near the bottom as far as giveaways go, like with the fumbles and interceptions. They were they had the highest turnover rate as far as offenses go. And you get to the playoffs and it's a completely different story. But Darnold didn't really play his best. And I feel like, like Corey said, maybe I'm just biased, but if Bo Nix is in that game and Denver's defense is, up there as well, Denver could be hoisting a Lombardi trophy.
All right, no more what ifs.
Yep.
All right, let's get to some comments before we go on to the next subject. So we got Brody here, said started off the week bad, now it's getting better. So I'm glad it's getting better for you. We got Brandon Hall jumping in. He's saying that they use longer routes to develop, which is against bad teams all season. Which, to Caleb's credit, he also pointed out that the Patriots didn't really play much of a tough schedule. That was one of his first takes on the show. And then I think this is Nacho Fries, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
All right. What up, Nacho Fries? Welcome to the show. Thanks for hanging out. And then, of course, Brandon with the Ginger General. Speaking of the Ginger General, guys, I have a very interesting question to ask you. Corey, I want your response to this because Sam Darnold, he did not turn the ball over all postseason. And ironically enough, he was one of I would say in the top 10 in terms of turnovers in the regular season. But in the playoffs, he actually cleaned it up a little bit. Seattle was able to win a Super Bowl because of his performance. So after this, do you think Sam Darnold can be viewed now as a legit QB in the NFL?
I'm hezzy because obviously the OC's gone. So I want to see that. I mean, it's going to be dependent on who takes over the play calling, and are they going to have the same relationship that Clint Kubiak had with Sam Darnold? But yes, I think that for the most part, the monkey comes off his back, right? He's got a Super Bowl. I think you'd like to not shit down your leg next year and at least be in contention for the West. So, and I think that's a question here later on that we'll get to. But I want to see what they do with the OC because, again, that's going to matter.
Okay. Matt, what are your thoughts? Do you think Sam Darnold can be viewed now as a legit QB?
I'm kind of on the same page as Corey. Like, it depends on what this new OC is going to do. Do they mesh well? Does he understand the offense that he's trying to build around him? So, and again, like based off his performance in the Super Bowl, which wasn't bad, wasn't great either. Again, how much of that was a defense that saved him? So yeah, it's going to depend on, will this defense still be elite next year? And they probably will. And how well will he mesh with this offensive coordinator?
So then Cody and Caleb, I want to add, I'm going to keep the same question, but now I want you to think back to, he won 14 games with the Vikings last year, correct? 14-3, and then they lost. So knowing that 14-3 this year and a Super Bowl, so what, 30 plus wins, if you're including postseason, the last two seasons. So knowing that, does that change your guys' answer? So it's a little bit different of a question than what Matt and I just answered, but to you guys now, take last year into consideration as well.
I'm going to add a little caveat to this for my answer, which is I think when I say in terms of legit quarterback, I think I'm saying a starting quarterback that you can plug in. You're counting on him to win games. He's not a backup. Like, for example, if hypothetically Mitch Trubisky was a fill-in for the Seahawks and they had a Nick Foles type of run, I'm not sitting here saying that Mitch Trubisky is now a quarterback that you can start and trust to win games. But when I'm saying a legit quarterback, that's what I'm saying about Sam Darnold. I would say I would view him as a legit quarterback. And I think a lot of it is because his time in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan really helped out. The Vikings having 14 games. And yes, it is a Kevin O'Connell head coach, and I have a high regard for him. However, in a new team, first-year new team, he again won 14 games. Granted, did he have a really good coaching staff? He absolutely did. But he also did not default to seeing ghosts like he did on the Panthers, on the Jets. And to me, like, being able to go to two different teams and produce very similar results, which meant success for both teams, to me means like, yeah, you're legit. Now, that doesn't mean that bad coaching won't deter from that. So I agree. Like, if a shitty OC walks into Seattle and just wreaks havoc, and, you know, Sam Darnold has dealt with that. But I think, like, if Mike O'Donnell, who is a good head coach, brings in a quality guy, I think you can trust Sam Darnold as a legit QB for next season. Like, they're going to win games. They're going to be competitive. It's one of those type of situations.
Yeah, and so for me, really, I'm kind of along the same lines as Cody and really all of you, for the most part, because I think he's serviceable. You know, I think he's a bona fide starter at this point. I think he starts on wherever he goes, just based off the past 2 years, what he's done. But I do think a big part of that is who they're going to get at OC this next year, because you look at it, he played under KOC last year, a great offensive mind. Everybody knows he's like a quarterback whiz, except for the guys he had this year.
You mean JJ McCarthy?
9, you mean 9. And what was his name? Brosmer. Yeah, Brosmer. Too.
Max Brosmer. Yeah.
The Uber Eats driver.
Legend.
And then of course, Clint Kubiak. I mean, he's a whiz, dude. Like, the stuff he was doing in that NFC Championship game, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I am truly, I think the Raiders got a good coach in him. And
Careful,
that's a topic for
Cody
later.
Careful.
My bad.
I'm going to get too excited here, guys. I'm going to start saying some wild shit on here. Like, the Raiders are going to win it all next year. So relax.
Cody's seeing ghosts.
Whoa, guys. Whoa.
But overall, I mean, I think he's a legit starter at this point. I think this is an excellent question, though. It really is, because I had to think for a little bit. But I think he starts wherever he goes moving forward, at least until he gets older.
I mean, and we can honestly say, too, like, maybe Sam Darnold is a one-hit wonder. I mean, it's legit that could legitimately happen. But also, like, I see it, Sam Darnold coming from the Jets and the Panthers, both of those organizations, kind of like the Raiders in a sense, where they have no direction, they're bad ownership, bad management, to where it's affecting players like Sam Darnold. And then he goes into situations that are healthy, and then look what he produces. So to me, that's why, like, I'm like, I think Sam Darnold is legit as long as the franchise is a well-functioned, a healthy one. You send him into Cleveland, though, and he's back to seeing ghosts again, you know?
Yep.
Well, and there's no basically, there's nothing backing that this isn't going to be sustainable for the Seahawks. They're going to have cap space. They got some free agent decisions that they got to make, obviously. They got plenty of draft picks. So, again, I don't see why. There's literally no excuse for why this can't continue to happen or continue to succeed for this.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Speaking of Seattle, I kind of want some quick answers here. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are the Seahawks to return to the Super Bowl? Matt, what's your scale of 1 to 10?
I'm going to give him a 7.
Nice. That's pretty good.
I'm gonna give him a 7. Just because, again, that
You're
defense
gonna give him a
is so,
6-7? 6-7?
I swear I will shave your beard off on live television. Only because that defense is still elite. I'm more than positive they're gonna re-sign K9, Super Bowl MVP.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I rank them that high.
All right. Caleb, scale of 1 to 10, how likely are the Seattle Seahawks returning to the Super Bowl?
I'll say 6.
I see what you're doing here.
I'm gonna punch you.
I didn't do it because of that, but I'll go with it if that's the case.
Don't you do it.
He's going to say 6.7 scale, I think.
Right.
I hate all of you.
All right, so you gave him a 6. Corey, what's your scale of 1 to 10 for you?
2.
2? Okay. Is it because of the Kubiak effect?
Well, yes and no. No, in a sense of the 49ers are going to be healthier, or at least they're going to start the season healthier.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams are going to be the Rams as far as that goes. And yeah, I mean, this isn't going to be the start of something special. I hate to break it to people, but that division alone's too good. And I want to see these moves this offseason from these other NFC teams now.
Mm-hmm.
Can they be one of the top 3 NFC teams? Yes. But I think there's too much, there's too many other good NFC teams, and that's no knock on Seattle. That's just how well I think the NFC is.
Yeah. If I had to give a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to say a 4. And a lot of it, to your credit, Corey, I think the NFC won. A lot of these teams that we saw have these flashes of coming up are probably going to keep ascending. And I do see some regression from the Seahawks, not because they're not a good team. A lot of the factors are just there's film on you now about how you play your game, how you game plan, and that a lot of teams are going to come back differently on how to play that. So I think the surprise of the NFL of the Seahawks, I don't think is going to be a surprise next year. So I'll give them a 4 to repeat. So, and then Caleb, your favorite question that I put in here for you, were the Pats a legit team and that's why they got to the Super Bowl, or did they just get lucky?
I think their defense was legit. And if you look at it, I mean, really the offense did a lot in one game, and it was against the Texans, ironically. They scored 3 touchdowns, and that was the only multi-touchdown game that they had, or that Drake May had. So overall, I think they were legit. I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl. What can I say? But they proved me wrong. You know, they proved that they could beat really tough defenses. But I think that defense is legit.
Okay,
really is.
Matt, do you think that they got lucky, or do you think they were legit?
I think they were legit. I mean, again, there's no frauds in the NFL. You get paid to beat the teams you're scheduled to play, and at the end of the day, on the opposite side of the field, there are also other professional athletes. So they were legit. 14 wins. You made it to the Super Bowl.
Okay, Corey.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of luck that goes into a lot of shit in the NFL, right? But to say it was pure luck from them, no. And that's Matt and I have been saying this for the last 2.5 months. Basically, it doesn't matter what your schedule says, right? That defense was legit. That defense was holding their own against the Seahawks for a little bit, but you can only do so much when your offense can't get into the other team's territory. Mm-hmm. So, no, it's not pure luck. And I see a comment, stop it. It's not pure luck.
Mama Shovik saying it's pure luck. Don't say no to mom.
I didn't. It's not pure luck.
I will say this. I'm gonna say they didn't get lucky, but they had a lot of things break in their favor because the 3 teams that they faced, the Chargers, Texans, and the Broncos, a lot of things had to go their way for them to succeed with that offense not being as productive as the other offenses that they had faced, or at least the NFC represented. The Rams had put up 400 yards on that defense that almost shut out the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Again, the Chargers having a bad offensive line, I think, plays into effect, and also doesn't help that Justin Herbert didn't play his best game. The Texans, again, I'll repeat, with CJ Stroud turning the ball over, giving that Pats defense extra opportunities, and then the no-bo Knicks and the blizzard in Denver, I think, played a factor in it. So I'm not going to say pure luck, but I think a lot of things broke their way that led it to a easier path than the Seahawks had to get to. I think that's why you can see when both teams faced each other, the Seahawks were more battle tested than the Patriots, in my opinion. At least that's what I saw. I'm not trying to say they weren't a legit defense, but I mean, I don't know if that was the AFC's best that came to the Super Bowl, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that.
when you put it like that, it just pisses me off even more.
Yep, I'm trying to pull back my
I'm
energy.
trying to keep it together right now, but it's just like the more
spaghetti right now.
Yeah, when you put it that way, I'm just sitting there like, don't.
Yep, I'm getting them anime veins right now.
Yeah, we may have kids watching, so I'll keep it but yeah, I'll text it to you guys.
Okay. All right. Before we go on to our sponsored break, you guys, I want you guys to give me your top 5 teams heading into next season. So this is 5-1. So 5th being, bottom 5 to top 1. So Caleb, I'm going to kick it off with you. What is your top 5 teams heading into next season?
So up at the top, be a fan, right? So y'all are going to clown me, but I'm going to say Chargers. I like the Seahawks again, Rams, Broncos. Shout out to the Broncos guys, and the Ravens. They're my sneaky pick, just because I really like
the Chargers at number 1.
No, at
yeah,
5.
dude, be a fan.
Oh wait, did you put them at 1 or 5?
1.
Oh my god, dude!
They're
I was
my
trying to
one,
vouch
dude.
for you to go.
You
5
didn't
and you go
understand
1.
the assignment.
So
good.
let me get this straight. 5 is the Ravens, 4 Seahawks.
2 Seahawks.
Okay, hold on. Run
So
that list by me
here,
one
I'll
more time.
start. No, you're good. So my
You-
one
You're one?
Chargers. My Chargers
Okay.
are my 1. 2 is
Yeah.
the Seahawks.
Okay.
3 is the Rams. 4 is the Broncos, and then 5 is the Ravens.
The fact that you have the Broncos at 4 to your Chargers at 1 is funny.
Hey,
I dig
Never
it though.
know. We'll
I
see.
can't lie.
We'll
So then
see.
it won't be a surprise if I put my Raiders number 1 then, right? So because we got Kubiak now, we're going all the way.
be a fan, dude.
If you could do it,
Be a
if
fan.
you could do it with a straight face, I'll believe you.
Okay.
Be a fan, dude.
All right, Matt, give me your top 5.
Give me the Bears at 5.
Okay.
I'll take the Bills at 4. Rams at 3. Seahawks at 2. Give me Broncos at 1.
There we go. Be a fan. All right.
Be a fan.
Corey.
Damn. All right. Well, so we're starting at number 5. I got the Bills.
Okay.
Number 4, the Bears. Number 3, the Broncos. 2 Rams, 1 Seahawks.
Damn. It's a good
It's
list.
the most realistic goddamn lineup out of all these 5 so far.
Yeah, it is.
I'm shocked that you only put the Broncos at 3.
It is be a fan still.
I'm surprised
That's
that
why I
you
was
only
like, shit.
All right. 5, I got Patriots. 4, I got Bears. 3, Rams. 2, I have the Broncos. 1, the Seahawks. So until otherwise, they're on top of the mountaintop. So I
What's that,
appreciate it.
Austin? Austin says F you.
Did he put the Chiefs on there somewhere?
Yeah, he'll come up with it at some point.
There we go. We'll
In
have
his
to post.
monotone voice.
All right, guys, that was our top 5 teams heading into next season. If you have a top 5, drop it in the comments so we can read them towards the end of the show. But we're going to take a sponsor break real quick, and we'll come back for the second half of the episode. So don't go anywhere. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Learn more at esfcu.com. Text or call the number 620-342-2336 to get started today. ESFCU is the Shovix banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA. This episode of West War Room Rivals is brought to you by JBW Solutions Industrial Safety Services, your remote safety partner no matter where work takes you. From the job site to the office, JBW Solutions brings OSHA 10 and 30 training, plus a full lineup of compliance services straight to your screen. Whether you're a small crew or a major operation, they make safety simple, accessible, and effective. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com to learn more today and stay compliant wherever you are. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Field Ops. Kansas sports fields just got an upgrade with Field Ops. Looking to reserve top quality sports fields in Kansas? Whether you're organizing youth tournaments, adult leagues, or weekend pickup games, Field Ops is your go-to platform for discovering and booking the best athletic fields across the state. Instant online reservations, detailed field info such as locations, amenities, and photos. Field Ops is also trusted by coaches, organizers, and athletes. From Wichita to Overland Park, Field Ops has got you covered with real-time availability and streamlined scheduling. Get in the game at gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. That's gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. All right, guys, welcome back to West War Room Rivals. Again, thank you to our sponsors for supporting the War Room. Season 2, hashtag be a fan. We want you guys to be a fan. Give us your sports takes of your favorite team so that way you represent your fandom. So we're going into some around the league news. The future Super Bowl winning team, the Las Vegas Raiders, have officially hired Clint Kubiak. He is officially named the Raiders head coach. And he, did you catch that, Caleb? I don't know if the other guys
did. I don't think I did.
I caught
straight face. So
okay, thank you for that reaction. So anyway, so the Raiders officially hired Clint Kubiak. It went official on Monday as we're recording this tonight. He had the press conference where there's a lot of excitement now going around Raider Nation. So the question is, what does this hire mean for the franchise? I'm going to let everyone kind of answer, but I think obviously as the Raider representative here, I'm going to give my 2 cents of it here. I think the fact that the press conference had a lot of legends in Raiders franchise staying strong and actually giving their seal of approval for this hire is a big deal. Mark Davis has recently been alienating a lot of former Raider legends about the lack of winning, lack of discipline, the product on the field. I think it was Tim Brown said he refused to go to any Raider games until they started winning. The fact that basically all of Hall of Fame Raiders, Howie Long was there, Rich Gannon was there, former players like Kurt Morrison was there. I think that shows that there's a lot of unity now that Tom Brady is trying to bring with Clint Kubiak. And I feel like this is one of those hires that give some energy and youth back into the building, because before, with Josh McDaniels, with AP, with I'm forgetting who, Pete Carroll, this was literally the third year in a row that we've had a press conference introducing a new coach. Corey, I think you gave us a joke that it's becoming an annual thing now. So we have signed Kubiak to a 5-year deal. So the hope is that he finishes the 5 years, because then he'll be the longest 10 years Raiders head coach in 30 years, which is tough to say. But I feel like that I am feeling optimistic about this leadership. But again, a lot of the things that I've been saying in this offseason, I want to see what we do in free agency. I want to see what we do in the draft. And I want to see the direction of the team and the coaching staff, which none of that was addressed today in today's press conference. It's strictly Clint Kubiak being introduced as the head coach. So that's my 2 cents of it as a Raiders fan. Corey, what does this hire mean for the franchise?
yeah, it really sucked watching that press conference. I did watch the press conference for a little bit too, and I just see little Clint Kubiak. He's a Kubiak and he's coaching a Raiders team. It kind of hurt a little bit, not gonna lie to you, even though Gary is obviously his dad, and obviously Clint did a little work with the Broncos while, for a little bit. But I hate that the Raiders may have gotten this one right. And I hope they do right by him. Like they got to cut the trend of firing a coach after year one. And I need Raider fans to understand, and I know there's excitement, but I think with Raider fans, you got to temper the excitement a little bit. As what I'm trying to say is, don't expect like a complete 180 all of a sudden, right? Like, yes, it's possible, but the chances of that happening are very slim until you see what the moves are made. And we got to see how he is as a head coach first. How does he get the guys ready? How does he get that culture built? Who's his coaching staff going to be? He's going to bring a lot of guys over from Seattle with him on the coaching staff. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They just won a Super Bowl. You need to mix in with some of those. But again, I hate it because I think they did get it right, but I still, like Cody, I need to see a few things before I'm going to sit here and say, you guys got one, right? I'm still sticking with the timeline of, I still think you're about 2 or 3 years away. Heavily more 3. But I mean, it's better than sitting here hiring a 75-year-old coach who we got Cody gassed up for last year. So
yeah, I'm still holding a grudge over that from you guys.
So yeah, man, Raider fans should be excited about this one. I just don't go over the bridge when you get 5 or 6 wins this next season. Matt,
what does this hire mean for the franchise?
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells because I already, upset you and hurt your feelings hyping up Pete Carroll last year. So I feel like what I say, you're going to hold on to it. But, like we kind of talked about on the TikTok Live, I feel like the Raiders have gotten the right wheels on the right track. Now it's a matter of getting them moving. Again, like Corey said, like a new head coach, first-time head coach, he's not going to fix everything. Like with all the things that the Raiders have going wrong for them, he's not going to be able to fix all of that. There's no way that he's going to be able to do that in 1 year. However, he's coming off of a Super Bowl. Obviously, he's proven he can develop an offense. He can take a quarterback, build an offense around him, give him pieces to set him up for success. And I think, again, with free agency coming up, there's going to be players, not just Seahawks. There's going to be other players that are like, I'll go play for Kubiak. He just won a Super Bowl. I'll go play with Kubiak. I'll go be
It's still a good name.
Yeah, exactly. So other talent is going to want to come and play for him. So again, the wheels are on the right track. Now it's just a matter of getting them moving. And then again, don't expect everything to be fixed, because there's no way you're going to fix the Raiders and all their problems. They've been down in the dumps for like 20 years and the problems are still there. But don't be surprised to see them and win at least 5-6 games this year. So
if there's someone that takes more dumps than my brother, it's the Raiders.
Or Matt taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
That's
absolutely
true.
Caleb, what is your reaction, and what does this hire mean for the franchise?
So as a Chargers fan, I hate the hire. I absolutely hate it as a Chargers fan. But overall, I think for the Raiders, all joking aside, I think that they hit a home run with this hire. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl this year or the next year. I think really the ball's in the ball is in Spytek's court at this point, if I'm being honest with you. I think he's got to get the right pieces there and really fix this team. I mean, really get the right guys there, because – I mean, you saw what happened this past season where Max Crosby's getting into it with other guys, and I think that's going to be a big factor for Clint Kubiak. I definitely think the culture improves just because he is a young, energetic guy, and like you said, he's a Kubiak. Like he can coach football. So overall, I think it's a really good hire for the Raiders. And like Matt said, they got the wheels on the track. They just need to get it moving. So yeah, I like it for the Raiders.
And I'm going back to, don't be surprised if Gary has a lot of input with this. He's not coaching. Obviously, his time in Denver got cut short because of health issues. But now his son's there. Now it's one of those Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan things, right? Like Mike's not telling Kyle how or what, but he's an ear when he needs it. And I think that's the exact same thing you're going to see here. Is Clint Kubiak going to turn out to be another Kyle Shanahan? I don't think so, but it doesn't need to be. He needs to be the right guy for the Raiders and not worry about all this other stuff. Like, do right by the Raiders, and the Raiders need to flip that and do the right thing for him.
I think what I need Mark Davis to do is do exactly what he does with the Las Vegas Aces, who I think they've won back-to-back titles and are going to win probably a third one with how they're constructed. And that is stay out of the way. Just whatever operations that they're doing, leave that to your management team, leave that to your president of whatever operations department that is. Do not meddle in that, because one of the common denominators with the dysfunction of the Raiders for all these years that he's been the owner has been the lack of consistency with his leadership or what he wants to do. He has a championship team in Las Vegas that he's an owner of, which is the Aces. And I need that same mentality now to go to the Raiders, which is stay out of the way. Let Tom Brady, let John Spytek, let Clint Kubiak do their job, so that way they can grow this franchise and don't get in the way. I think too, one of the things too that helped the Seahawks in winning the Super Bowl for the Raiders, which is now it gives credibility to Clint coming in. He's not a loser OC that is now running away and he couldn't win the big one. He's actually a coordinator that put his offense on display in the Super Bowl, that gives him now some respect in that locker room coming in, that he knows how to coach a team that's going to win it all. And now with that salary cap that they have, that like almost $100 million that they have available for free agency, the number one pick. I know there's no validity to this, but there are some rumors that the Raiders might go after Jim Schwartz and find a way to get him from the Browns, which would require like trading for him essentially. I don't know how realistic that is, but the fact that there is rumors of them going after legitimate coordinators to help Kubiak be successful, I think is great. And I think from where we were at with how the Raiders played with Pete Carroll and how unattractive the team looked, to now how desirable they look like for certain free agents with a Kubiak, with the salary cap, with Tom Brady, John Spytek. I think now that gives a little bit more life now to free agents to say, hey, Las Vegas might be a place I want to go and build something because they've got the right guy there. They've got the quarterback. Hopefully it's, Fernando in the draft, or we'll see what they draft. But with those pieces that they're putting in place, it now looks attractive now to the free agents rather than what it looked like prior when we were all saying it's a shithole. No one wants to come to Las Vegas anymore. I feel like this was a good step to at least make the Raiders a nice destination for respectable veterans and players that want to succeed. So,
but I think the plus side that you should take from today is Mark Davis saying that Clint Kubiak is going to report directly to Spytek and Tom Brady. Like they're the ones who are going to handle the football business. So you may be on the right track right there of you may be getting your wish right now of him saying, okay, it's Spytek and it's Tom's show. They got the football side of this handled. So again, maybe it's happening for you guys finally for a change.
Yeah. Also want to give a couple of shout outs to some Raider fans. Protect the Shield. What up? Thanks for joining. And then Germ, of course, with Raider Nation. What up? And Mama Shovik here throwing out haymakers are still trash and they still stink. I appreciate it, Mama Shovik. So,
hell yeah.
All right, let's go into the next team, which is the LA Chargers. They announced today that they hired Adam Gase as their pass game coordinator.
You might as well hire Nathaniel Hackett while you're at it, dummies.
Caleb, I don't want to beat you up, man, but I'm curious. Give me your honest opinion of this hire because I got to give you a lot of love, man. You are being a fan. You were defending yourself in the comments when you posted the breaking news about this, and I give you credit for standing 10 toes on your team. But I need your opinion, man. What is your thoughts on this hire?
So my honest thoughts were not necessarily put in those comments when I was commenting. So my honest thoughts on this. So I'm actually a huge culture guy. I think that's really important in teams and team success. Like I really do. And I don't think this is the right hire for us. In my opinion, I think as far as culture goes, I don't like it. I really don't. I know a lot of his players did not like him, especially with the Jets. And some of the comments he had in press conferences and stuff, I'm just hoping the past 5 years woke him up or something. I'm really, I don't know. I think the culture side of it is the biggest thing for me. He's had like one winning season as a head coach, and that was it in his 5 years. Granted, he is considered like a quarterback coach advisor kind of thing. I'm just
LOL.
I don't know what the heck they're doing, dude. Like I was really disappointed when Cody sent it in our group message, dude. I deleted my message after. I don't know if anyone read it immediately when I sent it. So I was like, dude, this sucks. And I was like, I don't really know how to feel or something like that is what I was like. But I'm disappointed in that hire, honestly. It's going to be a weird dynamic. I mean, you got Adam Gase, Mike McDaniel, and Jim Harbaugh. It's going to be weird, man. Weird.
Well, I'm wondering
it turned out good.
I'm wondering if Harbaugh is going to be able to wrangle in the circus. Like, got a lot of personalities running wild around there. But I will say, like, I can't say too much because, again, the Raiders, they just got a head coach right, and we've been a revolving door. So I'm going to say this with a little bit of just I got to also check myself. But I think, like, the excitement that you guys just had with Mike McDaniel being hired is taken now away with this hire with Adam Gase.
Absolutely.
And it's like, you know, and again, being as a franchise that goes through an ineptitude of poor coaches, I kind of like they're making me feel sorry for you, Caleb. Like,
oh, dude, I get it. I'm disappointed. I'm super disappointed.
All right.
Quarterback whisperer as Peyton Manning is the reason he got a head coaching job.
I was going to say, like, I mean, he coached Peyton for 2 seasons or 3 seasons, I guess. And that's how he got a head coaching job in Miami and the Jets. Yep. But Bronco fans, give me your thoughts. Corey, give me your initial thoughts. What do you think?
Build your culture, I guess. So here's one thing I will say. He's going to have zero say on that offense whatsoever.
Right.
He's zero input. He's not going to call plays. So you guys have that going for you. Yep. Maybe, he's just there to nothing he tells Justin Herbert is going to do complete opposite of what he's telling him to do. This one's questionable. This one really is questionable. At this point in time, I was just like, why not Nathaniel Hackett at that point? He was
already taken.
Yeah,
or Pat Shurmur,
Pat Shurmur, Honestly, I hope this is a trend for the Chargers this offseason and what this is to come. Because what did I tell you guys the other night? I do not like the meshing of McDaniel and Harbaugh's, like, they're just too different personality wise.
Right.
Like I could be wrong. I just see this going completely different than what some people may think. But again, I could be wrong.
Matt, thoughts?
I feel like nobody ever learns from the Broncos' mistakes when it comes to coaches. The Raiders signed Josh McDaniels after his lovely dismantle of Denver. Adam Gase,
they don't learn.
Adam Gase was the laughing stock of that Broncos offense right there. Like,
that's
he
worse than Josh
took
McDaniels.
Right, he took the same playbook from 2013 and put it in 2014 and just renamed it 2013 playbook, and then just changed the name 2014 playbook. He did nothing different. So, like, hey, but behind every, a good OC, you need that one weird quarterback advisor to make him look bad. And here comes Adam Gase. Maybe he'll just come in and do the press conference and be weird and awkward, and we'll all just point and laugh at him. And cool, comic relief. But does nobody ever learn from the Broncos' failures at coaching? My Lord.
I think what I will say, like, Caleb, if I had heard the Chargers had brought on Cliff Kingsbury as the pass game coordinator,
completely different,
I would have felt like, oh shit, sure. Like the Chargers made a move
for sure
that's going to help Herbert. And again, who knows what Adam Gase will be or how much say he's going to have. I mean, he's going to be working with Justin Herbert. I'm going to be honest, Adam Gase working with, Peyton Manning for actually quite a bit of time. I think at least 3 seasons. That's a big deal. That's like a lot of experience and a lot of stuff that he can impart on Justin Herbert, who is kind of in a similar predicament where he's having struggles in the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe that helps. But I think initially, like, Adam Gase has been out of the NFL for 5 seasons. It's not like he took a hiatus. It's not like he, was playing his coaching in college and then came back. He's been off the reservation for 5 seasons. And I think that's what, again, I'm glad that the Chargers made this move as a Raiders fan. But if I was a Chargers fan, I would be like, are we like, that's what we do? We get Mike McDaniel and we give him Adam Gase as well. Granted, Harbaugh has got his work cut out for him. You really want to see how he is as a coach and leading that coaching staff. We're really going to get a taste of that now. But, again, I'm sure you've got more feelings about it, but like the Chargers, everything comes in a balance. You get a really good offensive coordinator, and then you pair him with something that's probably going to offset that with Adam Gase. So
why not call Phillip Rivers then?
Right. I mean, that would make more sense.
That I would have loved that. And to be honest with you, I think that would have been 10 times, 1,000 times better than this hire, personally. But
because this is the most Chargers move the Chargers can make. Like,
it is
every year, the Chargers will do something good, and then they charger it up with this.
If this is a start, then I'm sorry for season 2 for you, Caleb.
Dude,
maybe you and Cody are flipping here. I don't know.
We may be. I'm. At least he won't be calling the plays. That's all I can say. But I'm still not happy with it. Regardless, I just don't think that fits the culture that we should be building. But
maybe Adam Gase comes into this, and again, he doesn't have a lot of credibility to say, hey, I'm going to come in here and implement this that's going to be successful. He's probably going in there just with, hey, listen, I've been around the NFL for a long time. I was on a playoff caliber team with the Broncos. I've had my experience as being a head coach on the Jets and in Miami. He's coming in with different experience, and he's probably going to do what he can to get back in the good graces of the NFL. And maybe that's how it is. So maybe it's going to be like, he's just going to be, implementing whatever Mike McDaniel wants to do. But like, again, like if they were really looking for a splash on an offensive side, I feel like, again, and I'll point to Kingsbury as an example, might have been better, or going all out for Davis Webb, even though that was out of the realm of possibility. That would have been better than Gase, who's been out of the NFL for 5 years. So
the only splash was the toilet.
When
That's
After I
all
made
that
the
hire
doo-doo.
was. Yeah, that hire was doo-doo. And Caleb, you have every right to be upset.
Yeah. Mama Shovik here wants to just give you some sympathy, though. She goes, I'm not a Chargers fan, but that hire is crazy. Go Chiefs. And then Germ here, a Raiders fan, lifelong Raider fan, so I have no sympathy, but love to see it.
Facts.
And I feel your pain, Matt. He said the same thing as, Josh being hired. So,
Yeah.
all right, Caleb. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to beat you up on that, but
No.
your
I'm
team.
as mad as
Maybe we'll get a Caleb crash out.
You know what's funny though? Hold on. I do want to say this.
Here in a
I think this
second.
is where, as Raider fans, I need to take a step back, because every offseason we win the offseason, but we suck in the regular season. So I need to wait until kickoff happens for this upcoming
What
season.
offseason have you won?
I was just say, what offseason did you win?
Every offseason, the Raiders win some signing, some draft, or whatever, but yet we still are shit on the field.
Maybe
Well, last
10%
year,
off
you
at your
said we
next
won the
purchase
draft.
at Great Clips. But
No, hold on. Last year,
you
you guys said the Raiders had a good draft, and you guys gassed me up on Pete Carroll.
We gassed you up because it was the right thing and funny thing to do.
Oh,
we're supportive friends.
We're
kiss my
supportive.
ass. Yeah,
We're
right.
supportive
I'm your
co-hosts here.
we are your emotional support humans.
You
That's
guys are
what
my ADA humans. Do I need?
Yeah, that's what
Oh
we're
my
here
God.
for.
Get
I
out of
walk
here.
around with the vest like "Do not pet" because I'm your emotional support.
Do you go? Don't pet him right now. He's not in the mood. He lost
Yeah,
again. Don't pet him.
Yeah, essentially. Yes.
What are friends for? All right, let's get to something more serious, because I don't want to crash out right now. But so Falcons rookie James Pierce Jr. has allegedly been involved in a domestic violence and stalking situation with a WNBA player, and during this incident, he reportedly struck the vehicle, also struck a police officer, evaded capture. He was allegedly charged with 2 counts of felony aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and a felony count aggravated stalking. There is a statement put out by his attorney that mentions something about they look forward to the truth coming out to light. I think that's a very bold statement to put out by his attorney, but nevertheless, Caleb, I know that we were texting in the group chat, and this is a former Tennessee Vols player. So I know that you have some feelings about that. So I don't mean to bring down the temperature of the room, but I do want to get your thoughts on this kind of serious thing about James Pierce Jr. and whether or not he's going to play in the NFL after this situation. So the floor is yours, man. What are your thoughts on this?
So, yeah, I'm obviously a massive Tennessee fan, and I didn't tell the guys fully that I was going to do this. So, and for those of you that are watching that don't know, I'm also a father and a husband to 2 beautiful ladies. So, for me, I think this is just, oh, dude, I can feel my blood pressure rising. But it's unacceptable, man. It really is. And I don't even remember what question you just asked me, Cody, but I just have so many thoughts on this. I think that we have the opportunity as men right now to step up and not be this way. And it's just unacceptable, man. It really is. And I'm getting so heated thinking about it, but we have the opportunity to treat women the right way, whether it's, your daughters, your wife, your spouse, your whatever. And I get a little choked up thinking about it because I think of my daughter in that situation, and it's just unacceptable. Like, you're a grown man, handle yourself that way. Like, if you have issues that you think you're going to do something crazy, talk to someone, man. Like, just do it. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional about this, but so James Pierce obviously is a Tennessee Vol. So is Rakia Jackson, which is the lady that he assaulted and did all this to. And so overall, I'm super mad at James Pierce. I think that James Pierce should be out of the NFL, at least for a little while. I don't care what team he played for. That's just unacceptable. It really is. And I don't know. I just think it's unacceptable. I have so much that I want to say right now, but I don't want to get too heated, I guess. I don't know. Didn't
me
mean to
get
go
a-
off the rails there, but
Let me get the opinion of the guys. Keep thinking on the thoughts that you have, because I want to circle back to once you get a chance to filter them. I want to come back to you. So, Corey, what were your thoughts when this news broke?
Well, we can't call him a man. Like, that's not what a man does. I'm not going to call him a man in this situation. You got to handle yourself, man. Like you really do. And no, we don't know what he's going through, but that doesn't necessarily make it okay. It's never okay. Whatever happened, it's out there, man. Like, you had the red flags. People talked. People know what happened. That's why teams didn't draft you, and then that's why you fell to where you did fall. Yeah, that's not a man though. That's childish shit. No man, and he should be done. So we got to start making examples. We need to quit worrying about guys who smoke weed in the NFL. We got to quit worrying about that. This is becoming more of an issue. We're seeing this. Stephon Diggs, same situation. Get these guys out. You want to set the right tone. Get these guys out of the NFL. They have no business being in the NFL until they can get their shit right. I don't think that's what the NFL should be about. And again, it's bigger than football in this situation, right? Like, this is another human being. But yeah, I'm not a man, not a man at all. Get him out. I could care less if he played another game.
Yep. Matt.
Yeah, no, if Ray Rice has not touched an NFL field after what he did, then Professor Dickweed should never be allowed to step foot on an NFL field as well. Like, that is completely unacceptable. You are an athlete. You are held to a higher standard. It's kind of like, I hate to, bring up my naval career in, a football podcast, but like, we're held to a higher standard. Like, people are going to look at us higher because we are in the military. It's the same thing with athletes. They're going to look at you at a higher standard than what they're going to hold everyone else, because you do have that profile. You are a higher profile individual. All eyes are on you. So everything you do, the world is watching.
Yep.
Unacceptable. You are supposed to be a role model for these kids. They talk about it. Like, we had guys like Derek Johnson on the show. It's like, I want to give back to them. Here, I wrote this book so that kids know, like, you don't have to be anyone else. You just have to be your best. And there's individuals like Derek Johnson. And then you have individuals like him who are like, I didn't get my way. This girl won't talk to me, so I'm going to throw my little temper tantrum. Absolutely not. One thing my dad used to say to me, like, when, I became of age and started getting interested in women, was like, look, if you ever disrespect a woman, not only will I kick your ass, but I will take you to her father so he can kick your ass. My son, obviously he's on the spectrum, but he has more respect for his mother than what this guy did. So that is, again, unacceptable. You got to do better, man. Again, you are a role model for these kids. Again, you talk about like underprivileged kids, at-risk kids. They're watching you. They want to be like you, and they see you doing this stuff. They're going to act like you because you're the big NFL star. You made it. Like, come on, man, grow up.
One of the things that us as dads and husbands, or even brothers or cousins or whatever, if you have a female in your life of some family, friend, or relative, or something that you hold close to you, one of the things that we have to do is also hold the men in their lives accountable as well. I didn't grow up with my dad a lot when I was of a preteen age. I could have really used a really profound male role model. Unfortunately, like, sometimes you go through life and you kind of have to figure it out. Sometimes we're not all blessed with a patriarch of the family that kind of shows you like what a man should do or shouldn't do. But, I still think of my mom, who, God rest her soul, has been gone now for 9 years. And I couldn't fathom another human putting their hands on someone like her, or I couldn't fathom putting my hands on my wife. Her and I have been together since I was 19, and I couldn't fathom any human putting their hands on any of my 2 daughters. And I couldn't fathom my son putting his hands on any woman that he ever one day decides to have life with, So one of the things that's heartbreaking is I'm not sure what individual in his life either failed him, or maybe he just didn't accept whatever advice that came his way. But unfortunately, it's going to cost him his career. And I think the NFL has a unique opportunity to actually, get the train on the right track, so to speak. Like, how many players have they given a second opportunity who have had domestic violence charges on them, who have been accused of assaulting people or whatever the case may be? And because they're talented, they get second, third, fourth opportunities to be back in the NFL. I'm not saying the NFL needs to sanction like a lifetime ban on James Pierce Jr., but I think putting an indefinite suspension to allow him to go do his thing is what is best for him. So he gets his life situated, because allowing him to play in the NFL because the investigation is ongoing would be the wrong look. And also, this needs to be a lesson. Like, I don't want some 1 year, okay, you're out of the league, you served your time, for assaulting a human being, a woman nonetheless. And if all these allegations are even remotely true, he'll be lucky not to face prison time for a considerable amount of time. I think his career is the least of his concern right now, but I think the NFL has a responsibility to hold players like this accountable, to show that, like, we also value the women or loved ones in our life that need to be protected. And they have not done that in previous occasions. Like, it's Matt, you mentioned Ray Rice as the only NFL player, but like, we're not talking about Tyreek Hill. We're not talking about Antonio Brown, who got several opportunities. There's a Greg Hardy is another one that comes to mind, where he assaulted his partner multiple times and still was able to play in the NFL. So I feel like this is a unique opportunity for the NFL to at least give an example of like how to hold a player accountable. It's not going to take away all sins, but it can be a good start to show that, hey, we take this seriously as well. So, Caleb, did you want to add any additional now that you have some time to think about it?
Really, I thought you all kind of hit what I wanted to hit. But overall, like, we need to be better as men. Like, we need to hold every man in our life accountable, right? If you know someone that's doing this, like, reach out, do something, man, because it's just unacceptable. It really is, and I hate to see it. And I'm not making excuses for James Pierce, nor will I ever make any excuse for a man laying hands on a woman. It's just unacceptable. But overall, I'm sorry I got emotional there and didn't really know what I had so much to say, and I wasn't sure how to say it.
It's all
without
right.
getting too emotional, I guess is what I'm saying. I can't fathom, what her family was going through and that kind of thing in that situation. So yeah, it's just unacceptable.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I may have said a lot of words, but I still don't know how to completely articulate like either frustration, anger, or disappointment I have, because again, just like as you said, like as men, we also need to hold other men accountable and to a higher standard to not allow this to happen. And it also starts with us. Like if we also need to make sure that our character is something that we are demonstrating when people aren't looking. Like that's another thing that us men have to do, is not just say it in front of people, but you got to do it behind closed doors when no one's watching. Like that's a big part of having high characters, maintaining it even when no one's watching. So,
and like I get it. And I'm not trying to make light of the situation, and I'll take this to the grave with me. I feel like women were specifically designed to piss men off. However, not to the point where like my wife is designed to annoy me. That's just relationship. You guys are married and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I'm sure your wives have gotten on your last nerve, or like they try their luck. But never in any argument that we've ever had, never has the thought occurred like I need to show her what's what. I've never raised my hands to her.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine like that was the first instinct right there, is I'm gonna put my hands on this woman.
No.
She'd beat your ass anyways.
Yeah. Well, she is a war hero, but
I think every relationship has its frustrations, but yeah, I've never had the urge to, strike at any frustration in an argument. If anything, you want to act like that's the biggest show of like, I'm a man. It actually shows how much of a man you're not.
Yeah.
So
that's why I said I'm not calling him a man. I refuse to call him a man.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys, let's put a pin on that heavy topic. I appreciate everyone's opinion. I feel like it's an important topic that we all kind of get on we all at least address it a little bit, because it is going around and it's a it's a good PSA for all those that are listening and watching, and just know where we stand. We don't stand with that kind of ignorance or that kind of despicable behavior from anybody, be an NFL player or a human being on the street. We don't like that around here in the War Room. So, all right, fellas, do we have anything else to talk about before we close out the show?
We should be starting to post some stuff here really, really soon, guys. So make sure you guys are on the lookout. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Hit that subscribe button. We were at 347 when we got on here. So hopefully we hit that 350 mark soon. So make sure you guys share this out with everybody. Continue to look for us over on TikTok, on the lives. And yeah, so we're going to be dropping the Be a Fan logo here very soon. So very excited about what these guys have been doing behind the scenes.
Yeah, and as you guys can see right here, hashtag Be a Fan. Again, like what Corey on a TikTok live kind of promoted, we want you guys to be a fan. Whatever take, if it's wild or not, like I just believe that my Raiders are on the right track and they're going to be Super Bowl champions. And that's okay. I can be a fan. I can say that. And we want you guys to stand on your fandom as well. So
didn't we say within reason?
No, that's totally reasonable. Absolutely reasonable. All right, guys. If you guys are watching right now on YouTube, we appreciate you guys, your love and support. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you guys get notified anytime we are live. We post an episode, we post a segment maybe, or we have a short that comes out. Also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, all those social media platforms. That way you guys are up to date on anything that we're doing. And we have some fun stuff planned along the way for season 2 of hashtag Be a Fan. So we appreciate you guys. Shout out to the sponsors, Vidak Coffee, Rival Codes, Field Ops, Emporia State Federal Credit Union, and JBW Solutions LLC. As you can see, Matt has the merch right now repping. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
And Austin.
Oh, yeah. Austin over there. He's got his merch on too. Say hi to the people, Austin. Hi, everybody. All right, guys. That's it for the War Room. We'll see you guys on the next one.